Our players begin their adventure aboard the shadow port of Hollow Promise. Having successfully delivered a shipment of weapons to Nuth Tavana, a Nemodian's arms dealer based aboard the shadow port of Hollow Promise, the group of adventurers decide to enjoy some downtime before undertaking the risky and terrifying task of leaving the station again. In this group of adventurers, we have Zlid Zan, the Toydarian merchant who left his home planet and traveled the stars to become rich. The average Verpine Kalik, who like most of his fellow insectoids, is vastly interested in weapon crafting and testing. Sei Jin is a Togarian who became a professional fighter at a young age and now seeks out financial opportunities in the galaxy utilizing his skill set. Finally, Necro Tekro, the Drawl technician and former slave to Darga the Hutt, has found himself and his droid companion TRD-2 in this unlikely band of adventurers. Our adventurers find themselves in the Lucky Swan Casino on a busy night with dozens of patrons at the bar and easily another several dozen in the gambling pit. There is a private booth in the far corner where a female Hutt, who you assume to be Malolo, the owner, along with an entourage that includes a Bothan, a handful of Gank, and a protocol droid. Our band of adventurers can't help but notice that they seem to be paying close attention to the players' group. The droid copier tilts its head to one side as if receiving new programming and then leans forward and tells the group that
Exalted Mistress Malolo Bascado requests your presence to discuss a business opportunity.
And as the adventurers turn to look again, they realize our group is flanked by her 4 intimidating and faceless Gank guards who are pointing the way for them. Malolo the Hutt is accompanied by Bontask Fin Nav, her Bothan spy master, 4 of her ever-present Gank guards, and a protocol droid, CIX-TN 16, who serves as her translator. Although Malolo speaks reasonable Basic, she believes it to be beneath her and refuses to do so except in extreme exasperation or desperation. Malolo explains to the PCs that she's heard good things about their abilities from Nuth Tavana, one of the local weapons brokers who frequents her casino, and wants to retain their services for a job. She tells them that if they do well, they can expect to be engaged again. The players agree to accept to take on the job. Malolo says little else, allowing Bontast to do most of the talking while she sucks on a hookah and observes. Bontast tells the PCs that through no desire or fault of their own, they find themselves in the middle of an escalating territorial dispute with a fellow Hutt clan. Although initially really more of a misunderstanding, there was a recent infringement wherein a shipment of weapons were stolen and Malolo wants the PCs to help even the score. Bontas tells the PCs that they have found out when and where the weapons are being exchanged, and he will pay them 2,000 credits and a share of the recovered goods if they can interrupt the transaction and steal back the weapons cache. He stipulates 2 conditions. 1. The adventurers will only get paid if the theft happens within a short window of the transaction completing, so as to fully interrupt the flow of business and send a message that Malolo's organization isn't to be trifled with. And 2. Bontas further insists that PCs not use their own ships, but instead use those provided by Malolo. Moreover, one of them must be left behind, as so to cause further incrimination. The adventurers are loaned 3 M22-T Karat gunships by Malolo, each capable of carrying 2 people. The ships are docked on Hollow Promise, fueled, primed, and ready to go. Bontas tells the players that he has even paid for the exit tithe in advance for each of the ships. Zalid Zan, the Toydarian merchant of the group, is able to speak to Bontask and increase the payment amount of the job. The adventure party takes the M22T gunship to the Tasmoon sector to dock at the Ashen City starport. The docking bays at Asher City starport on Voon are as faceless and utilitarian as those on a dozen other planets. Your ships are directed to Hangar 122, reserved for the adventurers by Bontask, who has given every member of the party all the details of the meeting that might be needed. He also told the party that the various bays are all connected to the central security system, which can be easily sliced, assuming you can find an unguarded terminal. Upon reaching the spaceport, Zlid Zen lured 2 of the security guards into an empty room, where Sejim, Kalik, Necrotecro, and TRD-2 ambushed them and knocked them out cold. We now continue our adventure in that room with our heroes.
How difficult would it be for me to crawl in the vent?
Pretty high.
I'm gonna reach into my backpack and pull out this small little remote droid.
Guys, I don't know that I'll be able to fit through there.
Bebop could. He's about the size of a space apple.
You're certain that you won't be able to fit in there, Saji?
The ones of us that are of the smaller variety might be able to fit into it and see if we can find an access point to let you guys in. Or at least give the rest of us some intel on who's all in the building and maybe locate the correct hangar that might have crates that look like they can contain weapons.
Well, I mean, I don't feel good about you guys going there and there by yourself with all those armed people in there, but I guess we'll have to figure it out.
Well, we could talk our way in.
The grid is on the ground level. You can access it no problem. But inside you have a 2 feet and a half of height.
Okay, so I will go ahead and pop open the grid, and then Bebop, go kind of do a look in, and I will see what you see on my control data pad.
While the others are trying to, well, clean up a little just the whole room after the encounter with the two Joes, you send your remote in the vent. After a minute or so, you have a feedback when you see the interior of the hangar bay. You have a group of black-scent thugs behind the mid-30s human, not with a really self-important attitude, is almost shouting something at a hut just before him. The 2 Gamoran guards around the hut are almost going for their axes, but the hut make a sign, say something, and the situation seems to calm down a little. It goes on back and forth for a few seconds yet, and after that, the hut make a little sign for behind him, and the Rhodians on the back start pushing forward the sleds, the grass sleds with big crates toward the ship.
Hey, guys, you seeing this? And I show them the viewport of the hut having the Rhodians push large sleds full of big crates.
I'm guessing these are the one we are looking for. Should we perhaps wait for the hut to leave?
Yeah. And if you want to identify the hut, you can make me a 5 purple underworld or outer.
My head. I think I recognize that hut.
You don't suffer strain, but you recognize that this one is Shivi the Hut. He's a middleman sort of thing for a bigger hut in these regions. You don't really know what name, but you have seen this hut in particular once while dealing with the Black Sun, so it's not a one-time thing. Also, you know that this hut has a real distaste for little furry creatures. While you're all trying to see what the remote is saying and looking for information about the hut, you see from what the remote send you that the Blackson guys finished inspecting the crates, and the hut received some two of the sleds with the smaller crates and start turning to leave.
How many entrances do we see to this hangar bay room that we might have access to?
From the remote, you see that there's on the two opposite sides from the hangar bay, there's blast doors leading for the adjacent hangar bays. One is completely open, going for with a big number 46 painted just above it. The other is closed. There's also the little entrance you have leading to your shed, you believe, and the big front door, which is actually right now closing, leaving the hut and his guards on the other side.
Is any of those doors, which is hangar bay number 46, is that close to us, or any of those close to our location?
Yep, you're between your shed is between the 45 and 46. So if you go into the 45, you'll be just a few meters away from the blast doors going for the bay 46.
I'll look at the cat and say, come with me. This is taking too long. Play along, cat.
Okay.
And I leave, and I'm going into the hangar. Get ready. I rush into the hangar with...
And I'll follow with him.
You open the door, leading right into the hangar bay.
Yes, and I want us to be like, we need to be rushing like we're running from something.
You run in, you see the two pilots going inside the Z95, looking at you. One of them is "Hey, what are you doing here?"
Run! There's a crazy droid attacking! And I try to lead us into like behind some crates from cover from the door we just came in.
Make me a deception check. Let's see. It's gonna be a 2 purple, but I upgrade it.
Awesome. Let's see what happens. 1 success and 2 advantage.
Yeah. You see the two guys, the two pilots, look at each other. One of them is getting comlink, but they both get down from the fighters and get cover behind some crates.
Okay, I'm gonna climb into the backpack on Treads, and have the remote come with us.
I just kind of just turn my comlink on to Kelik, and just so it can hear me audibly, I go, "So, do you think we can hitch a ride on your freighter? I saw that crazy droid attack 2 guards outside."
Yeah, so, hey, Treads, I think that's our cue. Start blasting the walls.
You see the two pilots behind the crates aiming their weapons at the door, and from the freighters come down the human and 2 strangely humanoid-looking droids.
Okay, so the doors pop open, and Kalik starts running out.
As you come crashing in the room, I asked, what the hell is going on here? Do you know who you are dealing with?
Did you heard about that droid that went crazy? Right on time.
Exterminate! Exterminate!
Oh no, he's
You
here.
know, roll
Oh, organics must die.
Vigilance or cool?
It's gonna be cool, as you all know. With,
Okay.
so doesn't mean you have to start shooting, mind you. Just we're going to organized play. Okay, so first that you said you were going with your droids.
Yeah, I'll get behind cover.
Okay, well, you run around behind some tall pile of crates so your droid can hide, but you still have it still have his weapons well in sight. The human is okay. Look, you are all going to die now. No one, I said, no one disturb Asa Karam. Kill them. He pointed his droid at you, and he goes back behind toward the freighter.
I don't really like that Asakaram guy, so I'm gonna take a shot at it. I'm gonna aim first and
As in he is in long range right now, so it'd be a free purple shot.
I think I have +1 weapon range from
Oh yeah, with your upgraded you can shoot him.
Well, I said I take him, so I'm gonna put blue and then 2.
And you manage to shoot well, pretty much to the nothingness. There's something you want to do with advantage?
Yeah, my shot distracts the Asakaram guy, so he's gonna have trouble concentrating.
I said, shove them! And you start running toward the freighter.
All right. Well, then, 2 maneuvers to engage this guy, and I'm gonna boom boom pow him.
Please do so. He has 2 melee defense and difficulty 2. You close in on the droid, and you're gonna hurt it pretty badly.
So that's 8. Why not? I'll crit with a triumph.
Ouch! You run, jump, and put a big punch into his head. It didn't like that. Some sparks start going out from his neck.
I will spend another strain to add my ranks of coordination to the damage, so it'll take 2 more damage as well.
Ouch! And you give him a small jab in the ribs, which doesn't do much as his droid, but still hurt. Okay, so the droids look at you and is visibly not pleased as it.
I'm going to spend a strain for dodge to upgrade his difficulty.
Glorious.
Just right off the bat, yep.
And it hits you, and you don't like that as the force spike goes through your armor and pierces it. It's gonna give you a crit as just to give back what it took.
Did that roll out right? It should have been a crit minus 10.
No, your dice roll was 76. The total should have been 66.
The other droid is going forward toward you all. Zlid, you're pretty much ignored right now, but behind you have Tier D2 who has to, well, deal with being shot at right now, actually. Defense 2. So, that goes on for 9 damage.
Can I move to long range while still maintaining cover?
Yeah, there's crates pretty much everywhere in here. There's gonna be lacking some, but...
I move there and I look at Jim and go, I knew I should have followed you after you talked to that hut.
As you're trying to avoiding some particular injectives that comes to your mind, it's top of your door again. And the pilots in the middle they're trying to move to better positions, but they fumble and are pretty much in the open right now.
He'll engage he'll use that Z riot. So my character in binary tells him to attack the closest. Right. 6 and 2 advantage. Disorient.
Smack the droid upon the head. It's you see its eyes flicker a little, but doesn't seem to do much damage. Aside from that, Sakaram is just gonna run back to the ship. It's isn't them boarding around. I told you to die. You got a range defense of 1. As it shoots you, you go back, you rear back in pain, hit a pile of crates that goes to tilt in your direction as you lift your head, and you get out of the way just before the whole pile crashes down in the middle of the whole fight. You just avoid it while Sajim has to jump back before getting crushed, and so you have a line of crates between you, the guard, and
Okay, so basically difficult terrain.
yep. After that, that's gonna start to try and impale TRD2. So let's go with the second one. The droid tried to impale you, and
He parried it.
He parries it, yeah. Gets way enough arm to do this.
I will use my swift talent to parkour over this shit so I don't suffer any penalty for difficult terrain, and punch this droid again. So 7 damage. What I'm going to do is spend 1 strain to add 2 more damage to that from my coordination, so 8-9 damage. But then I'll use those 2 advantages to recover 2 strain.
As you hit it with a mighty kick, you take back a little and start stretching your shoulders, waiting for it to come at you.
I think I'll. Okay, so 2 maneuvers. I'm going to try to hurl Asa Krem into this droid. Or actually, no, I'm going to move him into this combat. Engage him with Sujim.
Okay, make me a discipline check. Doesn't have any, so I'd say 2 purple.
Oh well, we'll see if this works. I need 3 pips to do this. Nope, nothing happens. I look at him and stare at him.
Stare really intensely at him.
You shot me! Get over here!
The pilots are gonna aim at you, kid. You tried to shot their boss just before. They go in from they go closer, passing by the 2 droids battling each other. And then
They don't do
the
that.
hit misses, but it goes right into the doorframe a few meters from you, into the other hangar. So this droid is gonna attack you, so you can spend that strain. And they seem to be really happy with this.
Damn.
The droid is gonna make you fall prone. An ample movement of his force spike, it hit behind your knee, make you fall to the ground, and impale you with his spike in the chest. You are really hurt, and you're gonna get an upgrade on your next check.
So right now I have my 2-handed rifle. Do I have to spend the maneuver to switch to shield and pistol?
Yep.
While I do that. Okay, I'm going to aim at the Black Sun pilots because they're not engaged with an ally.
To go back behind, well, any cover really, so it's just gonna be 2 purple. You hit one in the shoulder. It's. Oh, by the way, you had to back up a little to take real good aim and shoot, and you find yourself just next to the open door to the Hunger Bay 46.
I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, you really don't. As right behind you comes up 4 other pilots who really don't like what they're saying.
I want to try to take mess with Hassan. Does Asa have only one weapon?
His best a pistol.
Okay, I'm going to try to take the pistol. I'm within short range. Yeah.
Yep, you moved, so you are.
I have the pistol in my hand.
What? He fumbles trying to catch it, but why did you do that? Give that back!
Now, I want to negotiate you rescuing me from this situation. And I'll take a guardian stance.
What are you even talking about? You're the one who barged in like this. Give me back my gun. He rushes you to try to take back the gun from your hands. As he struggles, and he struggles to try to take the gun back from you, but you're flying around him, dodging his attempts.
He kind of, I guess, lunges a little hard and bangs his hand against a crate, takes a strain.
And we're gonna go with Sajim. You're getting a little impatient right now, but the droid seems to really don't like you, but he's gonna...
I'm gonna spend a strain to upgrade it.
He's not gonna attack you. Because the droid is saying what's going on back on his head. The Sajim, you lie on the ground with a gaping wound in your chest, and the droid just take back his force pipe, turn around and rush towards Sajim and Asa. He's just gonna... Yep.
One more purple. And another black for my range defense.
So, really doesn't hit you, but strikes you a lot, as you have to dodge blaster bolts. And Asa is gonna have a better time at aiming at you.
Oh.
Alright, I'll spend a maneuver to get up from prone, spend 2 strain for another maneuver. I'm gonna rush this guy and be like, hey, don't you turn your back on me! And punch him. Well then, you know what? I don't know actually how I could spin that to pass a boost to the next person, so I'll just recover a strain for it.
You try to run and punch it, but your wounds are a little distracting and slowing you down as you're leaking blood, or actually quite a lot. You're losing quite a bit of.
Yes, this Necrotecro. So he directs the treads to keep attacking the droids he's engaged with. All right, so he'll aim once. He'll get the he'll get the speaks by an area of 2 ranks. Okay, so 2 black, 2 purple, right?
Yep.
TRDS for superior.
Another
crit.
The way I say it, your droid is just raising his arm and bashing the head of the guard droid again and again since last turn. You're spending your time to bashing its head, and you see small dents beginning to form. As Fred is bashing the heads, the droid loses balance and falls to the ground.
TRD2S for superior.
And we're gonna go with the droid deciding to stand up and try to murder your droids.
It's 3 black.
And with all of this, you have the force spike going in through threads. Pilots deciding this is beginning to look good for them, as they still they take cover and shoot at you, Kelek. So 7 damage, and they're gonna run towards you and get run closer to you and get behind cover.
So if this guy shot at him, wouldn't that be an upgrade for this guy? If he shot at Caleb?
Oh yeah, sorry about that. I'm gonna do that quickly. Well, you're lucky because if you go by this, you didn't get shot. The shot hit the wall just behind you.
So is there any difference between shooting the one that's engaged with me and the one that's in short?
You get you're surrounded by 4 guys just behind you. They're closer and they're out in the open, while the other ones are 2 a little further away and behind cover, as we're hiding behind crates.
Okay. take one maneuver to get in short, and then one more to get in medium, and then shot.
You run around, getting out of here. Want to do something with your action?
I'm gonna shoot the 4 blacksmith pilots that came through.
Okay, give me a.
So that's
two
gonna
purple.
be. I'm gonna use the light side.
You hit one on the hip. But you just hit a guy between 4 guys. Next, we have the guys you just shot, who run around to get cover and return fire. As they don't like getting shot, surprisingly. The shot goes just on the side of your shield, hitting you square in the chest. You take 8 damage. The thugs get a little too cocky with this, and yeah, he's down. Go on. They try to rush out from cover and swarm on you, but they don't see all the junk lying around, and they all fall. They tangle their feet on all of this, and they fall to the ground. And they are right in the open. New turn, top of the round.
I am going to go kind of disengage, and I pull out an armor-piercing going, saying, "This is an armor-piercing grenade, and will make you paste. So, I suggest you surrender, or I'm going to throw it at you. What is your answer? Live or die?" And I'll make a coercion check on him.
Yep, please, 2 purple, and I'm gonna use the destiny point you just gave me back, as you're pretty much threatening him with the equivalent of a thermal detonator at close range. You can take 2 blue. You do something with the force on.
I have influence. It's a control social skills. The user gains the ability to enhance his arguments and charisma via the force when making a coercion, charm, deception, leadership, or negotiation check. He may roll influence power check as part of the pool. He may spend 1 pip to gain success or advantage his choice per point of the check. So I'll do 3 successes.
Okay. Whoa. Calm down. Hey, okay. We can talk this out. We don't need to go to such extremities right now, okay? Look, he back off a little. I'm gonna just get here, and you can drop that, okay? We can arrange this. We can talk this out.
They're not
That's what you do
standing
best.
down. 3.
Okay.
Still haven't stand down. 2.
He get to the ground, get on his knees with his hand raised. Okay, go. Just stop counting, all right?
I'm going to take a glance to see if the droids have stopped fighting.
The droids on this at this moment don't stop fighting. Okay, right. Listen, we can talk this out. You don't have to use that, and we don't have to kill each other. What do you say we just stop all this madness, and we each go our separate ways?
They have not stood down yet. I'm waiting.
Okay, stop fighting! Stop! Everybody! Just stop, alright? As you say that, droids stop in their movement, and one was about to hit Fred's square in the chest, and the others was about to try to push you down, said Jim. But the pilots are at the complete opposite of the younger brave. They either don't listen or don't hear, you don't know, but there's still movement over there.
So we still hear some gunshots outside the hallway.
Yeah. They're not in the hallway, they're far from you. They're at the far wall from the hangar where you're at. Well, the pilots are just gonna go on trying to shoot you, Kelek. The 2 guys, and the shot is partially absorbed by your shield, but still it's hurt a bit as you take 8 damage. They do notice the whole thing going on your side, as Assad is
On his
down
knees.
on the ground with his hand raised, and the two of them look at each other and drop their weapons to the ground. But there's still four guys, fumbling around the ground, trying, but willing to fight near Kill.
There's only the four that are on the upper left corner.
Well, if nobody wants to take it, I'll take it, because I do want to do something before the combat actually is over.
I think he's going to tear the droid's head off.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what does Berserker Cat do? You give a rotating kick, the head just goes
Hey!
flying.
Hey, kitty! Chevy said minimize the damage.
Right. I'm gonna spend 2 of that advantage to recover 2 strain. I'll use the triumph to take a free maneuver. I'm gonna pull the stem pack out as an incidental and stab myself with it for the maneuver.
You kick the head of the droid off, and you're trying to get yourself prim and proper right after that.
Now, I'm trying to decide if I should shoot you or not. This gun hurts. It hurts bad.
We stood down. Just we can stop this. Just don't drop the gun, and don't let your big monster come close, please. Just we can talk all of this. You don't know who you're dealing with.
I'll pick up the force pike and be like, I'm taking this as a trophy.
Yeah, take that if you want. Just don't hurt me. You really don't want to hurt me.
I don't want to hurt you. What can you tell me that Chivy can't?
You work for Chivy?
What's so special about you? I haven't decided if I'm going to blow your head off or not, because this really hurts.
Well, if you blow my head off, you're not gonna live too long to, enjoy the joys of your head. You hurt me? Zan's my uncle, he's a Black Sun Vago, and you're not gonna be happy if he's not happy. I'm gonna be happy if I'm not alive.
You're right. You're right.
Here's an idea, Zen. Well, if he's alive, he can go back and tell him who did this. If he's not, he can't.
That's a good point. But I'll tell you. You know what? There should be honor among smugglers. Next time you stun. If you shoot me again, I'm going to kill you. Understand?
Yeah.
You'll make this out of here alive. Pew! And I shoot him on stun. Basically, I knock him out, though.
Yeah, we're just gonna say the pilots are see all this. They see the droid. Their friends dropping the guns. A droid gets his head blown off. The other one stunned down. So they too just stop fighting and drop their guns as they stay on the ground. Asa just drop completely still on the ground as you shot him stun.
I steal his wallet.
You find 50 credits, but not much else.
I'm gonna climb out of the backpack and roll to heal the droid, and then see if anyone else needs wounds attended.
By the way, I'm pretty hurt. Pulls out alcohol, pours it on some of his wounds, and takes a swig.
I suggest we get out of here.
Are we taking their ship? Are we loading the stuff to one of our ships and leaving the other behind?
I say we follow our job. Doesn't look like you healed it at all.
So, can I give myself a bunch of blue to heal the cat?
All right. Why don't you roll two dice to heal his wounds? You had another yellow. You messed up. I flipped the light side to upgrade.
Oh. All right, I'll just re-roll it. Okay, ignore that.
So, while all of this is going on, Gelek, are you doing something?
There you go. Man, I wish I got some of those for my roll.
And then I need a heal.
Okay.
Yeah, we all need heals.
Is the
purple?
crates have what we want? The crates, the large
Crates.
crates.
Are they the weapons?
They're inside the Murian freighter.
Okay, so we'll have to go on the freighter and grab them.
Can we fly this freighter to our dock and just...
I would think so. It's
You can, you have some space left in your own dock.
Dang.
But that means you...
Yeah, we're supposed to leave one of the 2 ships we brought here, is what I remember.
Yep, you're supposed to leave one of the 2 ships you brought, and
Would moving it to just a different hangar antagonize them?
depends. Depending if they find it.
Oh, here's what we do. We bring the ship over to our hangar. We use a docking clamp to undock one of our ships and dock it to this freighter. Bring the freighter back here, undock our ship, and take off.
And then I just want to leave a note, put a little note in his pocket saying, so because I didn't kill you, I instead just moved your freighter to hangar 84. Next time you stun. We're not the Empire.
You say that in his back, in his pocket, and you go on your merry way.
Before he got knocked out, we wanted to knock out all the pilots.
Okay, sorry.
And potentially shut off the droids.
Make me a perception check, Necro, please. Difficulty 4, but you have 2 blues.
Oh, wow. I saw something.
You do notice something that bothers you a lot as you take strain, and you notice just on the side of on the head of the droid, a little small inscription. An encryption you know really well, actually, as it was the signature of your previous master. Crack it.
Oh, the master who I was apprenticing for.
Okay. So, you're gonna move the freighter?
I'm gonna climb back inside the backpack of treads.
So, do you feel better kicking that head off that droid?
Yeah, a lot better. I'm gonna go raid this guy's liquor cabinet while we're in his ship.
Time to finish the pre-flight check that we're already.
You have enough time to make another repair check, basically.
You have 10 minutes about.
And I'm gonna look around the ship for illegal drugs and/or liquor.
Oh, well, you're gonna make me a perception check then. You can make me a difficulty 3. I'm gonna make you take an upgrade for that.
So do I roll the piloting now, or do I wait a bit?
You don't have to roll anything for it, but you take place in the piloting cabin while all of you get inside, abandoning Asa and his men inside the hangar bay. There's no one inside the ship, but going around and sniffing around, you do end up finding a little, in what seems to be captain quarters, you end up, you find a little stash of rail. You have 2 doses of rail.
Okay.
Taking place in the freighter as Kelek pilots it outside of the hangar bay, move around the whole city, and then dock it back at your own hangar, where you find back the 2 ships, the 2 gunship.
Hey, Zid, did you happen to get any information out of their boss before you stunned them?
Oh, yeah, he said his uncle was a Black Sun Vigo.
Did you happen to get a name?
Yeah, he said the name, Dale, but you cut out when you...
Sorry, Sanzan.
Can I make a roll to see if I recognize Sanzan, seeing how I was part of the...
Underworld,
Black.
if you want, yes. Difficult. 3 and you can have a blue. As you know a little about Blacks and works for.
When Gary was preoccupied, I had to deal with him. Okay.
Yep. And this guy was very interested in your droids you brought with you when and the ones you worked on when doing road jobs for Blacks. His Vigo, well, it's pretty standard for a Vigo as far as you can tell. Just maybe a little too much on the drug consuming, and it showed in his tired face, but and a quick anger temper. His quick temper, but the guy never bothered you too much and was really pleased with your work.
Oh, yes. Says Zan, I know him pretty well. He's a little bit of a junkie, but very interested in droids, especially the ones I worked on. And he does odd jobs. He's kind of in charge of this sector that we're in.
Okay, so it's good that we didn't kill him.
So, you brought back the freighter in your hangar. You have the whole Caucasian.
Let's get our cargo and go. We need to get paid our credits.
You push the two repulsed sleds with the 4 crates onto one of your gunships and start the pre-flight checks. After a few minutes, you are ready to go and start powering up the engines, and you rocket to the skies. Do you bother asking for permission to leave, or?
Tower, we're about to take off.
You warn the Space Force authorities you are about to take off. They decide you prepare the door and let you leave. But they're just after a few minutes of your leave, number 75. So you left your ship in the hangar bay. You're not supposed to do that. If you could come back and take them back.
Wait, still, crew, shortly, they'll ship. And I close the shut-off comms.
You rocket right off to space. As you find yourself preparing to jump into hyperspace, you see getting out right in front of you, getting out right out of nowhere, 4 M3A interceptors, wing-like ships appear. One of them hail you and try to open the comm channel.
How close are we to jumping?
Really close. Actually, you could jump when you want.
If you hear me say, jump to hyperspace. Hello?
Wait.
Hey, you up there? Yeah. Robust man, right? Hey, we know who you are. We know what you did. We're gonna come for you.
Who's
You
men?
all are dead. The Black Sun's coming for you.
The Black Sun are going to kill my ass?
As you end the conversation and prepare for hyperspace, you realize, Kelek, as you've seen, you were looking at transponder codes. You realize that your own transponder code, well, it's not the same. Right now, you're emitting as some pirate ship from listed under some Hubble the Hutt. As you said it, and as you close the communication, Kelek drop the lever, and you see the stars get real long before your eyes, and you all go into hyperspace. After a quick jump, you end up in deep space, where you receive the communication. It's signed as coming from Alolo and contain coordinates for the Sarka sector for a meeting. seemingly random coordinates about around an uninhabited planet. It will take a day to get there.
Okay, so I've been spending all my spare time in between hyperspace building armor. So I only needed 18 hours, and I started coming here and on the way back. So should that be enough time to pass to make a check?
Go for it?
I don't have to stay piloting the whole time when we're not.
No, not in
Okay.
hyperspace. You just
Would you be available to assist?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to build customized armor, which is 2 purple. So you have treat it as if you had an intelligence of 5. And
Okay.
use your skill. So that's 3 yellow, 2 green. Yeah, you get a blue, and I'll let you use my tool so you get a automatic advantage. Just roll, we'll add an advantage to it.
Oh, that's good.
Cool, thank you.
Actually, only took you, 14 hours.
But that's really good. I'll let you decide what you do. I'll do with.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do it later.
What you do with all of this on the side. So, as you get out of hyperspace in the Visarka sector, you see, well, nothing actually. The whole emptiness of space. After Sajim is still itching in his at his leg as it's the one badly closed, and you're all going on around the ship, but you can't help but get increasingly nervous the longer you wait for a low ship to turn up. It's pretty hard not to feel exposed like this in the open space, and you keep both the guns and engine warm. With no warning of foreign fire, after a few hours, Malolo Sorosub 3000, the righteous reclaim, jumps into space next to you, and is hearing still. At the same time, you notice how heavily armed the ship is, and you realize that its weapons are active and treading on you. The voice of the 16, the protocol droid of Malolo, comes over the comms. The exalted Mistress Malolo Basido requests that you dock with our ship and come aboard to discuss the status of your employment with our organization.
That doesn't bode well.
Yes, I agree.
I'm gonna stay on a ship.
Well, isn't the ship supposed to like board the
Oh, yeah, I
bigger
meant-
ship?
Yeah, I meant once you guys dock, because I still got these holes I'm bleeding from, and I don't want to die.
Okay.
It did say
I
healing
just-
checks for every encounter.
Right, but it's separate checks to do the criticals, and nobody's.
Yeah, you didn't.
I've
You
kind of
spent
got tired
time
of asking
crafting.
about it.
You didn't try to heal his crit.
Speaking of which, I also forgot to ask for a medicine check. Can I have one right now?
How much time do you...
You
is
had
it-
2 extra hours out of your 16 because of your success. Could have done it then.
2 hours is clearly enough to try to heal him. So you can try to roll for medicine if you want.
All right. Looks like 3 wounds. All right. So what do I need to roll on you to heal a crit?
Will chooses which crit you want to try to heal.
Yeah, tell me what the purple is.
They're both the same crit. I have 2 of them, and they're both 2 purple.
Well, there's my roll.
Anyway, so that 1 crit's gone, you still have another 2 purple crit. He can try again in a week.
So, as you spend some time healing, you will hear over the comms the announcement of 16. Kellic moves the ship as to dock with the righteous reclaim, and as you are connected to it, you go down for those who want to.
Okay.
And end up discovering, as you get down from the ship, you encounter a few a few thugs were ready to board your own ship.
We're sorry. The items are in the cargo hold.
One nod his head at you, and they go in direction of the cargo hold. So, you discover the Righteous Reclaim. It's the most breathtaking in its opulence. Obviously, it's intended to be Malolo's floating palace. The interior is a jarring mix of cheap and gaudy trinkets designed to give off the appearance of success and wealth, and banks of high-tech equipment that is almost certainly designed for surveillance and spying, as you see badly concealed cameras or micros. The pair of flying cam droids let you know that this meeting is being recorded. You find yourself in a small throne room, you could say, where Malolo is waiting with the boat and bone task and 16 the protocol droids. On the corners of the room, you also see the gunk bodyguards that you already encountered. The great and powerful Malolo welcomes you and thank you for a job well done.
It is such an honor to work with such an esteemed employer as yourself.
She seems very pleased as a huge grin comes onto her face. Mawata oko naete ite wa takacha watana. The glorious Malolo is pleased to announce that you are authorized to keep half the cargison, 2 crates of weapons, in addition to the credits you are to be paid. As it was promised, you will be able to sell them or deal with them as you want. Tawana oko ishitawa kakaine o. The great Malolo also has a need for your further assistance in some business she has to. If you are still interested.
What might it be?
I'll look to Zen and just kind of whisper to him, how many more credits does she owe us each?
You get 1,000 credits each. That's what you negotiated.
Okay.
Yes. There might be some additional information we could also pass on to the great Malolo if she is interested.
The oh so glorious and great Malolo asks for what kind of information you will be disposed to inform.
I will leave it up to her graciousness on how the generosity she determines for this information. We just wanted to say that Asa Karam, nephew of the Black Sun Sanjan, was the one that procured the weapons and were selling the weapons to this Shivy the Hutt. Was the exchange. And unfortunately, it seems that there might be a rumor that Shivy the Hutt double-crossed the Black Sun and took the weapons. That's the information I bestow upon the great Malolo.
Malolo starts to laugh. As you start telling her that story, the great Malolo is surprised. You could think she would send you there and stop the dealing if she didn't know all of that already. Her generosity is already well spent with you.
Very well, very well. It was my mistake. I assumed you know that Shivy the Hutt was the one purchasing the weapons, and that you knew about the Black Sun selling, but the rumor being told that Shivy stole the weapons is new information. But my bad. I underestimated the breadth of your intelligence network. Please forgive me.
You see the buff on the sneaker on the side.
I'm sorry. Well, you were saying the next employment opportunity.
Tawani wa Dawata Okawa wa Naiteho wa. Yes, the gracious Malolo is thrilled to be able to offer you a new opportunity, but you need to understand some of the dealings and some of the implications in all this work before you can take it on. The Hut starts talking, explaining to you a bit of her history, and the droid is translating at the same. She tells you about her mother, Grello Basido, the late head of Kajidik Basido, and how the Oboro, the Hut of the Kajidi Katavu, went and became very vocal in his belief that Kajidik Basido was declining and underexploiting the markets they had, and used some complicated claims on the Hut protocols, amounting on an official declaration of war, followed immediately by a great attack on all bases of the Basido Kajidi. Grello was isolated on her palace. She sent her daughter away to hide in a hollow promise where Malolo could grow up in time, where Grello would join her once the dealings were Orobo were done. But unfortunately, Orobo was way more powerful and established in his cartel, and after many years he was able to overpower Grello, and she was still reeling from her initial losses when Oboro executed his master plan, and Grello's yacht was caught upon exit from hyperspace and was promptly shut down. Grello, the mother of Malolo, he managed to kill Grello, but before that, Grello sent her daughter away to hide, unknown to Oboro. And since then, Oboro, completely unaware of that Malolo lives, has been taking control of the whole space occupied by Malolo, and repeated the same plan with other minor huts, expanding his empire. Darga, Otowo, Manado, she quotes a lot of huts names. You don't have any ID for most of them. And the whole idea is that Malolo is now of age and is plotting for revenge it's been a decade now that she's been moving around and trying to take back what is rightfully hers. And now she is ready to strike her final blow. The great Malolo seeks to enlist your help. She promises you wealth and status within her new syndicate, beyond the immediate mission she's offering you. You can make me a perception check difficulty 2 if you want.
I didn't notice anything.
I see something.
Necro, you notice, well, first you notice that the hut is talking in grand gestures and grand, talking a lot about revenge and making sure that her family heritage heirlooms are back, that her empire will be great and you will all be part of it, and Urash is just trying to butter you up, and she's not telling you everything. But you do not also notice that the gang are looking at you real closely. We have an opportunity for you, as Malolo the Great has various plans in the work to destabilize their rival organization, but right now she needs help interfering with his cash flow, specifically around his drug trade. We know of a production facility on Srilur that doesn't manufacture drug, just the component parts for it, and as such, it isn't as heavily guarded as it probably should be. If you are to sabotage that facility, well, the drug created by the components would also be contaminated, and by doing that, you would hurt pretty badly the dealings and businesses of Orobo, sorry. You are to apply some contaminants to any of the multiple water purifiers. It's all that is needed. But for that mission to be successful, you will have to do so undetected. None of you can be seen. You're authorized to retain any of the ship that, well, the lone ship you brought back. The Great Malo is pleased to see you left the other one as instructed. As a sign of good faith, the ship is now considered yours. But we would actually prefer that you use it as a transportation for these missions.
I noticed that the transponder codes changed. Are we able to use additional transponder codes to disguise us?
The Great Malo just want to make sure that you are seen as what should be, and that you are operating as their officials in these missions. So you should not worry about such things. The Great Malolo has everything well in hand. Sorry, the Great Malolo want to be clear and insist on the importance on remaining undetected. No, she's trying to tell you that if you don't, you'll still be paid if you do manage the mission, but way less than if you do it undetected. You ask for information, but aside from the location of the facility, we can't really be sure of anything. As the last thing, if you are discovered before completing your attempt to interfere with the facility, you are to attempt to destroy as much of the facility and product as possible, to make it look like a random rather than focused attack.
Yeah, so I guess the information we're going to need, Dell, is where's a good trade port where we can look into illicit goods, but what else do we have in the crates that we could potentially sell? It'd be nice to have Necro, if Necro can get some initial information first before we accept the job.
Could get that information if you slice into or even get access to local nets or networks, but you'd have to be on the planet to do that. But you'd be able to get schematics, this is just one small building on one small planet and of hut space, so yeah. And if you're going for XP, you can take 10 XP for this.